fought the rest, now try the best!
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to talk about EVO, but more importantly, my hatred for Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco is a very bad company. They've been doing a lot of bad things for a very, very long time, and Tekken players really are starting to understand just how bad they are, because the things that they're doing is starting to hit very close to home. Chased away a lot of the lead developers who built up Tekken. Harada spoke about how he didn't want to go, but you know, with the passing of his friend and just everything that was going on, he just was like, man, I'm out of here. And we could see it was a correct decision, because he's creating something that's so much better and that's so much more positive. But then also after that, we see other Tekken developers leaving. But even if you go back before that, where Bandai Namco was forcing Tekken to put all the monetization into the game, a last minute shop, going after mods, selling stage separately, Harada was dealing with all of that, and at times was putting Bandai Namco on blast on Twitter, and then he would have to go back and delete a tweet, or he would behind closed doors stop it, like, hey, stop going after mods, right? So Bandai Namco was doing a whole lot, a whole lot. And then you can even talk about in season 2 when Bandai Namco removed some of the legendary commentators from commentating. A lot of those guys are still suffering from that to this very day. That's what we're going to talk about. But then even before that, you had all the way back then, back in the day, when these commentators and these people who are like the foundations of tournaments is a very big thing for fighting games, right? The people who are the foundations of that, they weren't being paid properly. That's what Eris said. Eris said he was doing it for free, but then once he understood his value, then he was like, hey, pay me. And they were like, no. Think about that. They said no. The audacity. But then now, once they kind of like took over tournaments, things like CEO, Combo Breaker, some of these tournaments that was like grassroots, small events, and then they grew over time, Bandai Namco brought them into their circuit, which is good for them, but also it kind of like now they have to play by their rules. If Bandai Namco doesn't want someone on stage, if Bandai Namco doesn't want someone attending, now they have to basically abide by that. They took it over. And we're seeing the consequences of this, where the players want people on commentary. The players want Rip, Spaghetti Rip. We want to see like good players on stage as well. They put a bunch of scrubs on the stage to kind of try and like sell you the idea, you the player, the idea that if you go to these tournaments, then you can like be on stage too. And it's like, the thing is changing so much because they're just thinking about money and they're thinking about their image. If we put random players on the stage, more random players would want to go to the event and they would want to be on stage. That means more money for us. And then also, if we decide very strategically who could get on the stage and who cannot get on stage, this person's controversial, this person could be a problem, this person, like, bro, what is this, Bandai Namco? What is this? I'm happy that the competition for Tekken is so stacked like it is, because it kind of doesn't matter to a degree. But when you just hear these stories of players kind of like, you know, traveling all over the world, and then Bandai Namco won't let them do this, Bandai Namco won't let them do that. Same thing with commentators, etc., etc., etc. It's just like, bro, you guys are doing very, very, very not a good job. Let's just say that. You guys are not doing a good job over there. So when EVO revealed, because you know EVO is going to happen in about a week, when EVO revealed their 2026 star-studded commentator lineup for Vegas, a lot of people were analyzing the list, and it was a lot to talk about there. I'll quickly show you guys some of the people who are on the list. Now, this isn't just Tekken, this is for all the games, right? So you're going to have like Street Fighter, probably some Mortal Kombat stuff, or whatever game they're doing. You're going to have a lot of people here. So you can see icons like Logan Sama, Majin Obama, Tasty Steve. You can even see on this list Rip. Now, Rip made a tweet to Twitter that we're going to read in a second, but first I want to read this thing here. Event organizers revealed their commentator and host lineup Friday for June 26 to 28 Las Vegas convention, blending FGC veterans like Reinhardt and Ro Kang with fresh faces such as first-time host Barbara Rootless. The tournament features 12 main stage games led by Street Fighter 6 with 2,400 plus players. A 500,000 prize pool. I'm assuming this is for all the games and it will be split amongst them. That's very wholesome. I'm happy that everyone's excited and people are looking forward to EVO. But then when you look at the second most liked tweet of this thread, it comes from Rip. Rip says, back on EVO commentary this year, and no, It's not Tekken. Bandai Namco says the two words, the two names. Bandai Namco is still not letting me do Tekken commentary. And this is sad, right? We have made it very, very loud and very, very clear that we would like these guys to commentate. And I know Rip is a developer for Invincible Versus. Some people are arguing that this is like a why would they promote another developer's game in their thing? But it's not like he's going to be up there like trying to sell us the game. Like that's just something that he does in his free time. He's a passionate guy about fighting games. Tekken helped build up that passion. When Harada was at Tekken, he was saying like, let's not, view all of these different games as our competitors. When one fighting game succeed, we all succeed. They're all at EVO. All of the people there at EVO is going to be walking around, interacting with everything. If their game goes down for like an hour or two, then they're going to watch it and see what else is going on. It's a collaborative effort, which is what makes fighting games so special. So viewing it from this lens of like he works with the other guys, that's stupid anyways. But even before then, they were already trying to do him dirty. They were already trying to do their other commentators dirty. There was something that I heard, and it was basically that some of the commentators and some of the players and just some of the people in the FGC are starting to get really, really popular. And some of them are getting popular enough to where they can rival the game itself. Like Eris was the biggest example of this. Eris got so big to where his streams would start to become bigger than the main Tekken stream. And I would assume that they don't want anything like that to ever happen again. They don't want someone like Eris to rise up through commentary, make a name for themselves, have a massive stream, and then if that person dislikes the game, they start talking trash about the game. Now your whole audience is watching this person talk trash. I don't know if that's what Bandai Namco is doing. I don't know if that's what they're thinking about, but that's kind of where it all started. When these guys started giving their real criticism, their real feedback of the game. By the way, Harada and Michael Murray both tweeted that they wanted it. Even now, with the most recent update, I believe Michael Murray said that he's going to be looking at all of the criticism. So I don't get why they say, give us criticism, give us feedback. And then at the time, we didn't have the feedback portal. We had the Twitter thing. But when you ask for that and then people give their feedback, you take everything from them? I don't know, bro. It's crazy. And the longer this goes on, I think Bandai Namco will start to take more and more of a hit because of it. And hopefully Tekken doesn't take a hit, because Tekken is already dealing with a lot of things in terms of balance, in terms of player retention. And to have this, this is not a problem that's like, this is not a gameplay problem. This is not let me review bomb the game type of problem. This is a separate thing. Tekken has been dealing with in-game problems and out-of-game problems since launch, and Bandai Namco has been the root of a lot of it when it comes to like deciding who can and cannot do stuff and how things are monetized. Like Harada said that when they're the game developers, right? They make the game, and then when they make the game and they're done with their job, they pass it over to the other part of the team that does marketing. And then those are the guys who would run rampant. And it's the same thing for esports. Esports is handled by a different set of people other than balancing. And another example of this, you guys know the Bandai Namco esports Twitter? That Bandai Namco esports Twitter made a joke about someone being trash. Like someone was doing something that was trash in tournament, and they made a tweet like, oh, you got to get better, or oh, they said something that was like a very lighthearted joke. And the Japanese Tekken players, their culture is a little bit different. They did not like it, and they were very, very mad. And they were tagging Harada and whatnot. And Harada responded to that situation. And he was like, this account isn't ran by us. I'm going to contact the person who runs this account, and I'm going to communicate to them like not to do this. It reflects poorly on us. And that's what I mean about like these decisions aren't necessarily the Tekken developers. We don't even know who's in charge over there anymore. But these decisions aren't even the Tekken developers' decisions. We see that these guys are taking pictures with each other at tournaments. It goes above their heads. And the only thing we could really do is yell at Bandai Namco to stop. I was surprised to see Rip actually say Bandai Namco, because usually, these guys have to be very like vague with what they say, because, there's always consequences. But this is just how far it's gone to where they kind of don't really care anymore. Bandai Namco has done these guys so dirty, and these guys are like, the foundations, the pillars, so supportive of the whole entire everything. So to see Bandai Namco turn their backs on them, it just makes you wonder like what they'll do to anyone and everyone. This even goes further when you look at the way that they treat their developers. You guys will have to go back and watch one of the previous videos I made where I talked about how they treated developers.